Hello, this is Vicky from the Spellbound Bead Company, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make this sweet little snowflake motif and turn it into a pair of earrings. You only need a few beads to make each motif, so they're a great quick last minute gift idea, or if you're whipping something up because you've got a Christmas party to go to, they're brilliant for things like that. So what you're going to need is some twin beads. You're going to need 12 per snowflake. If you've got super duos, they will work as well, but I'm using twins. You're going to need some size 10 seed beads. To make this into an earring, you're going to need some soldered jump rings. I'm using a 4mm soldered jump ring, and then I've got a pair of fish hooks. I've got a needle, which is a size 10 needle, and I've prepared it with approximately 1 metre of Nymo, and I've tied a keeper bead on the end, about 15 centimetres or so from the end. You'll also need a pair of flat nose pliers to be able to open the loop on your ear wire, and a pair of scissors for trimming threads. Let's get started. So, to make the centre of the motif, we're going to pick up 6 beads, 6 of the twin beads through one hole. Now, when I do this, I'm also going to do a quick visual check that all 6 of them have got a second hole that is free for the needle to pass through as well, because you're going to need those in the next row. So I've got 6 there, and then I'm just going to go through them all again a second time to bring them round into a circle. And I'm going to go back through the first one again, just so that I can make sure I get the circle nice and snug. Okay, so that's reasonably tight. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to step up, and I'm going to come through the other hole in the same twin bead, which means we're going to change direction. So we're now going to be working anti-clockwise as opposed to clockwise. And what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to just pick up one bead, one twin bead, and add it into every gap around. So we'll add another 6 beads in this row. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is great for using up oddments, and if you've just got a few beads left in the bottom of a pot, or if you've had a mix and you've got a few beads left that you're not really sure what to do with, this is great for these. Okay, so that's 6. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to reinforce this row again. So I'm just going to pass through all of those beads a second time. So you're going through all 12 beads in total. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and we're going to end coming up through one of the beads that we've just added in the second row there. And again, we're going to turn the needle by going up the side of the twin and coming through the hole, the free hole in that bead again. So again, we're changing the direction we're working. Now, if you're not comfortable with working in opposite directions, you can turn your work over at the end of every row so that you're always working in the same direction, if that's easier for you. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add the snowflake points onto this. Now, if you just want to make a little motif that you can use to hang on the tree, then you make all 6 points the same way. So then you can hang it on the tree, you can use it on the front of a card, something like that. If you want to make it into an earring, then one of the points will need to be slightly different, because we're going to add a jump ring so that the earring will dangle, or a pendant. So we'll do the first point the way to do all 6 if you're making an ornament. So we're going to start by picking up 4 size 10 seed beads. Bring those down to your motif. Leave aside the last bead that you've added and come back through the third bead like so. Then we'll pick up another 2 size 10s and we'll go through the hole in the next twin bead around. Now you need to just make sure that you're coming through the correct bead so that you get this little point sitting between the twins. If I just take that back through there and was going in, oops, split that thread, and this is why you don't do what I've just done. You unthread your needle and pull it back. Right, so there we go. So if we just pull that back out, if you go in this direction, you're going to see that your beads aren't going to sit correctly. So that is not what we want. That is what we want. So it's sitting between the 2 twin beads. Okay, so to do that again, we start by picking up 4 size 10s. Come down to your motif. Leave aside the last one you've threaded. Go back through the one before. Pick up another 2. And go through the next twin bead. So if you want to make your snowflake so you can suspend it from something like I want to with this earring, the next point we're going to add a soldered jump ring to. So as I say, this is a 4mm soldered jump ring. So we're going to start by picking up 3 size 10 seed beads this time. Then we'll go through the centre of the jump ring and back through that third seed bead that we've just added. So essentially the 4mm jump ring is replacing the point on the previous the point bead on the previous snowflake point. I'm going to pick up 2, go through the next twin bead, and then we're going to repeat the first 2 points 3 more times. So pick up 4, oops, there goes my thread. Pick up, come back through 1, pick up 2, through, pick up 2 and back. And so just 1 more point to make. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 1, pick up 2 and back. And that's brought us all the way around our snowflake. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to reinforce this point all the way around these points by just completely repeating the thread path that we've just gone through. So we're going to come up through these beads here, so through there, just make sure you don't get your thread caught, through the bead at the tip and back down there, and again. Oops. Right, when we do this one, it's important to make sure that you go through the jump ring again. So I've come up in front of the jump ring, so I'm going to pass through and back down to reinforce. to reinforce. Just rethread the needle. And you can see the difference here between the one that hasn't been reinforced and the one that has. So it is worth taking the time to do. Oops. Oops. Okay, so that's all of the strands reinforced. So now we just need to finish off the threads. So I'm going to do that in the body, whoops, the body of the snowflake. So I'll just reposition the needle through the twin beads again to come back out round the middle, and we'll tie a knot, pass through a couple of beads, and a knot, and through another couple of beads, and then I'll trim that thread off. I'll take the keeper bead off this end, rethread the needle, and again we'll come through a couple of beads and tie a knot, and then we'll go through that way. So take the needle back on itself and trim that end off. Now when you're trimming, if you put this thread under a little bit of tension, so you can see I'm just pulling slightly, what will happen when you cut is the thread will sort of pull back into the bead that it's sitting against, that it's pulling against, and that will just give you what you need to hide the end of the thread. Now you've completed your motif. To turn it into an earring, you're going to take your ear wire and a pair of flat nose pliers. We're just going to twist that open, hook the jump ring on, and then close that ear wire back up securely. So there's one earring done. To make the pair, you'll make a second one the same, and you can always use it to make a pendant as well. So if you're going to do that, you'll need to add a second jump ring above the snowflake to thread your chain or your cord through. I hope you've enjoyed the video. As always, we'd love to see what you make, or if you've got any questions, please get in touch, and we'll see you again soon.